Howdy do. So I looked at my Twitch notifications and I saw this in there last Friday, as a matter of fact. Markiplier gifted you a tier 1 sub to BigCheese Kit. And there's a whole story behind this, and I'm gonna get to it as we go over this video. But I wanted to start with that just to let you know like where we're eventually going, because people have already heard now, of course, of BigCheese Kit and some other stuff. And I want to get into that. But here we go. That Friday was kind of a bit of an adventure for me, and it kind of also highlights something, a goal I want to set for myself as a creator if I ever do get bigger one day. And I want to make this video to hold me to that and to keep me humble to that idea. But it actually starts with Zentreya over in VR chat. They were streaming, as a matter of fact, for their audience. That's the game they were playing, and when they ended their stream, they decided to raid a smaller person within VR chat that was streaming as well. Someone that they didn't know, and someone who didn't know them either, and that was kind of great, with you know, voice cracks included. It was exciting. Because they didn't actually have to do that, right? No one would have held them in any less of a light for not doing that, and they decided to do that, possibly made that person's day. People went into the chat, started gifting subs in that chat, and it was great. It was something that was cool to see, because like I said, it's not, you know, once you make it big, there's no law or anything like that that says you have to then go above and beyond the content that you make. If you get big off of just making like a YouTube video series and that series gets big, that's all you really have to do is just keep making that series, and people will be content with that. They're not going to look at you like you're in this huge position and you should do like charity streams and stuff like that. They're going to look greatly on you if you do that, but if you don't do that, they don't really take that away from people either, right? Like, it's not like in the clause or a syllabus for doing content creation that if you get big, you should also then like expand your resources and stuff to selfless things like that. That's what makes it cool when people do stuff like that, because they didn't have to do it necessarily to stay where they are. Now, that being said, I also want to bring up Nagzz a bit too, because that's something that they too have been doing. Nagzz21 they've done this idea and decided to start doing this thing where they will raid small creators. They'll look for small creators and raid them with their community, which fortunately is also like a really good community too. It's probably problematic if you were raiding somebody and you have like a toxic community of some sort, but fortunately theirs is not, and so that makes it great too. Some of the same thing, like they have the Nerd, which is the Nagzz unofficial raid division, the VSL and stuff like that with sub bombs and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. It's how my sub streak actually in his stream is alive right now of 8 months, is actually just being gifted a sub because of things like the VSL, which is pretty cool of a community to build like that. But that's also one I want to piggyback off of too. So with Zentreya and with Nagzz, they've done this thing that they necessarily don't have to do, and to me, that's pretty cool. That makes them pretty cool in my eyes, because then now they're going and doing something beyond what they necessarily have to do to just be loved by the communities that they fostered, right? They're doing something more with the position of power they're in, and that's something I also want to do one day as well if I get the chance. So that being said, how does that lead us to Markiplier? Well, after Zentreya's stream, I don't actually remember how exactly I even got to their stream to begin with, but I ended up at Markiplier's stream. And however you feel about Markiplier and his content on YouTube, especially if you feel he's cringy or you feel he does the over-the-top reactions, and perhaps that's because that's how YouTube kind of just works, unfortunately. Whatever the case is, you might actually like his streams if you're even kind of interested in him though, because his streams tend to be a lot more chill, laid back kind of a thing, right? Like he played the, what's that newest Five Nights at Freddy's, after the Pizzeria one even, like the ultimate one. He played that one, and he definitely, there were some jump scares and stuff in there for him too, but it wasn't maybe as you would see on YouTube and stuff, because YouTube is a different beast. I'm not saying that he is or is not doing that either way, because there was a tidbit out there actually. He does actually hate mannequins after like a thing that happened to him when he was a kid. There's like a store or something that had mannequins, not mannequins, but animatronics, and mannequins too for that matter. So he doesn't like them the same way like I don't like giant spiders. So that's interesting, but still, however you feel about that, streams are a bit more chill. I ended up there, and what ended up happening was he was playing with Amy. He was actually just playing, they were just chill, playing like this Tetris tower building game, and just midstream he decides, well, what if we just went and started like giving a bunch of bits and stuff to smaller creators? What if we just right now, like midstream, just went like looking for smaller like streamers and creators and started giving them bits and stuff? And that's pretty cool, because again, he's Markiplier. He doesn't have to do something like that to be able to, you know, be successful in like the environment and community that he's fostered, right? People would watch him just for simply making videos and nothing else. But the fact that he decided to do that was pretty cool. And so he started with Tetris 99, which kind of was just announced and all that stuff. He was going through there looking for creators and stuff like that. Was going in, he'd give him like 1,000 bits or more and stuff like that. And it was cool. So how does this relate to BigCheese Kit? He got to BigCheese Kit, And the stream, because he had like 3,000 people watching him like he usually does when Markiplier streams, they would kind of go into whoever they were watching's like stream chat and be like, Mark is watching you, kind of tell on Mark before he even got the chance to like do the bits and stuff like that. This person in particular got very excited at the idea that Markiplier was actually there and actually watching them and stuff like that. And when Mark gave like the bits and stuff, they got excited. And one of the things that actually blew Mark's mind even about this particular person was their like production value, if you will. They had a green screen. They had this thing where they have after images coming out behind them. They had this like celebratory thing. They had like routines planned for when different things happen, like subs and stuff. They even sang their own subscription song and stuff like that as well. They were also pretty good at Tetris 99 when we were watching them as well. So they were actually just pretty, not only excited that Mark was watching them stuff, but like as a creator themselves, someone that a lot of people hadn't heard of, but you think you should have, based off of like their, like I said, production value, the stuff they were doing. And that's not to mess on or like rip on or diss people that don't have that production value, or maybe like they are not necessarily as energetic and stuff. Mark even touched on that. It wasn't against any of them, right? Like if they're really good at the game or whatever, totally fine. But the thing about this that made it so special, or at least what struck him, was like, here's someone who maybe people haven't heard of, that because the way Twitch is, maybe in like discovering people, it makes it hard to find these kind of people, but like the effort and work they put into making the stream so huge, in Mark's opinion, they like deserved more. Not that the other people didn't, like I said, he was going around to all different kind of creators, and I kind of don't want to change the viewpoint by interjecting that often, but it was just like, it was not anything against people that weren't doing this, but this grabbed his attention a lot. So what BigCheese decided to do was, he was like, if someone subscribes, he would do like a Markiplier centric kind of like a song kind of a thing, because this dude could sing, he could do a bunch of stuff. So what Mark decided to do was, he was like, okay, well, what if I just gift 50 subscriptions instead? So then I was end up being one of those 50. That relates back to this first image of how I got, you know, gifted a subscription from him. It wasn't like he sought me out individually specifically. It was like, I want to gift you a sub because whoever you are, just because. It was kind of like, that was the whole story now behind it. And it was on a night that started with people deciding to like go and try and support smaller creators the best they can. And so nowadays, like, they now know each other. They've played like Apex Legends together and stuff like that. Other people within like Markiplier's circle have now like talked to BigCheese and stuff, and it's great. It made their day, because apparently they were having a very bad day too. So that actually ended up making their pretty bad Friday a pretty good Friday. So that was pretty cool to see. Going forwards, what I want to do basically is I want to remember stuff like this and also be able to do this one day myself. That's part of why I'm making this, so I can kind of look back every now and then at this and be like, yes, this is something that I too want to be able to achieve one day in some capacity. Don't know what that capacity is yet, because we're not there yet, but I want to be able to do stuff like this myself, because sometimes that is like the hardest mountain to climb, is exposure, right? Like, exposure and passion don't pay the bills, so you should pay artists and stuff like that too, but sometimes it's just being able to get out there, right? You're doing all these things and you're still not out there yet, and sometimes all it takes is a bit more exposure from something like these people to be able to get to that point, right? Like, or maybe the way I help out in the exposure end is I eventually make my own subreddit like creators do, and my subreddit's centered around people and helping people get exposure for their content, get actual value feedback, make a community that wants to give feedback and critique people to help them make better videos and stuff like that. Maybe that's the route I go, because unfortunately, all in all, right, like, money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy financial stability, which is something that people still need regardless if money buys happiness or not. So if I can help out in some ways like that, I would totally love to. Like, I'd totally love to do charity streams myself. I just don't pull in anybody at the moment, sometimes at all, but also just that would actually, you know, like, donate enough or even anything. And that's not anything against the people that watch me. It's just like, not everybody has things monetarily right now as it is, to be able to do those really successfully. But I would totally love to do those one day. I would totally love to do the things that the 3 people I've mentioned in this video have done, and hopefully BigCheese and people will continue to do as well now that it's been done onto them. So that being said, that's what I'm going to end this video. Is I kind of want to just highlight this moment, that whole Friday, because it kind of, like I said, started with Zentreya, let me pronounce their name correctly, Nagzz even, who has been doing this for a bit too, Markiplier now, something I want to do one day. I want to be able to get to that point, and I will get to that point. And this is the video that I'm going to look back and remember, you know, to stay humble when I get to that point as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next. We're just going to have to wait and see. So until this time, take care and enjoy pizza responsibly. And now for a new end card as well.